Hello everyone, Mr. Frog here with another video. Today we're going to be looking at a game called Foregone. This is a new console game that I came across. It's currently out on PS4, Xbox, and I believe Switch. And I've heard that they're going to be releasing this on PC on Steam and Epic Game Store sometime in the future. But as of the time of this video, it's currently only on console. But yeah, this is a great action-adventure game with some Souls-like elements to it that I've just been having a great time playing recently. There's a lot of things that I like about this game. Mostly its talent system, the story, the animations and art are just absolutely amazing. But there are a couple things that I think that could be improved upon, but not very many. I'll get into those in more detail further into the video. Now in the game, you play as a character called the Arbiter, who is investigating a new presence called the Harrow. And basically you'll be going through a series of stages that are filled with tons of enemies, full of loot, and there's several secrets for you to explore, doors to unlock. Most of those are kind of linear in nature, but occasionally you'll deviate off the path, kind of Metroidvania style, and unlock several doors. Each level is fairly short, but long enough to keep you interested, and you'll eventually... there's a lot of variation between each level. Now, aside from each stages, the game also has a central hub/town area where you can go and you can spend your points to upgrade your abilities in the talent system I mentioned earlier, which is something I absolutely love about this game. It's very reminiscent of early World of Warcraft and several older RPG styles. It also opens up a lot of variety in gameplay because the game gives you different branches to choose from that can significantly alter how you play the game. For instance, in my character here, I am going for an explosion detonation charge build, which applies an explosive stack to enemies I hit. But I could also go for a tether build, depending on my talent choices, that tethers you to the enemy and does damage over time. Another thing I love about this game is just the fluid animations overall, on both the character and the enemies. Each weapon has its own unique animation style and attack speed, and they're just so smooth to look at and just very creative and colorful. And it really pairs well with the great controls of this game. It just has such a smooth feeling to it. The weapon variety in the game is also massive. There's several different types of weapons, my favorite being the gunchucks. There's also several other choices such as daggers, a falchion, just a normal sword. The game also allows you to use several different types of guns for long-range attacks. There's a shotgun, bow and arrow, a pistol, and like I said, each one as well has its own different playstyle, and the combinations that you can use of both the melee weapon and the gun are also very fun to play around with. The art in the game is also downright beautiful, with each level featuring its own unique theme and scenery. My favorite being the Egyptian level, which has beautiful flowing water and several statues and Egyptian-themed enemies. It's just amazing for anyone who likes that kind of thing. Now, a couple of the criticisms I have of the game is that, for one, the heal ability feels a little bit too mandatory. In the game, you're allowed to choose 2 abilities, but the heal is just so strong that it seems almost foolish to not take it as one of your chosen abilities. Now, other better players might not feel this way, but for me, it just was too much for me to not accept it. And I believe that just like making it an Estus Flask style ability similar to Dark Souls might free up that second slot to give you a lot more variation and choice in your abilities. Another thing I would like to see too is a couple more variation in talent branches. I do think that for the game the 2 is enough, but it would be nice to see maybe a little bit more talent options overall. Another slight problem I had also was RNG with the loot in the game. Now, a lot of the stats that is on the loot that drops is usually tied to the abilities, but considering the game allows branching ability choices, there were certain times when I would get a piece of gear that was normally very rare and good, but I would not have any of the abilities that the stats on it were increasing, so thus making the item almost useless for me. Though I will admit that this does become less of an issue later on into the game as you unlock more abilities and certain weapons begin to start applying those effects as well. Overall though, I think this is an excellent game, and for anyone interested in an action platformer, Souls-like game, I would highly recommend you check this out. Even for me as a person who doesn't play mini games quite like this, I had a ton of fun playing this, and I kept coming back to it constantly every day, playing it for several hours. So once again guys, if you have one of the consoles this is available on, I highly recommend checking this out, and if you don't, I would recommend looking out for the PC release date for this sometime in the future. Well, it would not be a proper Mr. Frog review video without a appearance of Mr. Frog himself, so let's go and see what Mr. Frog thinks of this game. Mr. Frog, what did you think about Foregone?
Peon, I think this is a pretty awesome PogChamp game. I think I would give it my Mountain Dew sip of approval. Make sure to check this game out if you like it, Peons. I highly recommend this game.
Alright guys, well thank you for watching the video. I really appreciate everyone who's followed the stream or followed the YouTube. It really means a lot to me and Mr. Frog, guys. So thank you guys very much, and yeah, if you like this game, make sure to check it out, guys.